This is an instructional video for 6th grade of the number system, and it's Standard 1 by Singing River Academy. This standard states that 6th graders should be able to interpret and compute quotients of fractions and solve word problems involving division of fractions by fractions. Students should also be using visual fraction models and equations to represent the problem. After this video, students should be able to use fraction bars and area models to divide fractions by fractions with different denominators. Students should also be able to make connections between visual models and multiplication of fractions. If you're having problems understanding this, Engaged New York is a great website to go to for additional support and practice problems. Khan Academy and LearnZillion both have great websites with very good instructional videos to help you along with your problem. Let's take a look at this word problem. Molly purchased 11/8 cups of strawberries. If she eats 2/8 cups per serving, how many servings does Molly have? This question is asking us to divide 11/8 by 2/8. Students in our school know that for division of fractions we use the term keep, change, and flip. We keep the first fraction the same. We change our operation from division to multiplication, and we flip the last fraction to the reciprocal, meaning you flip the numerator to the denominator and the denominator to the numerator. The next step is just to multiply across. 11 times 8 is 88. 8 times 2 is 16. We can't leave our fractions in improper form, so we would divide 88 by 16, and we would get 5 as our whole number and 1/2. Let's take a look at what this looks like in visual model form. Here we have 11/8 represented, and because we are looking for 2/8 serving, our numbers are divided into 2 sections each, as shown. If you were to add up each whole and then the half that's left over here, you would get 5 and 1/2. Now let's take what we've learned and find the quotient for these division of fraction problems. Here we have 3/4 divided by 2/8. We know we're supposed to keep the first fraction the same, so we're going to keep it. We're going to change our operation from division to multiplication, and we're going to flip our last fraction to its reciprocal, which would be 3/2. We multiply across, so we say 3 times 3, which is 9, over 4 times 2, which is 8. Because this is an improper fraction, we must change it to its mixed number form. We know when we divide 9 into 8, or 8 into 9, we would get 1 and 1/8. 1 and 1/8 would be our quotient. Let's look at the next one. 6/2 divided by 3/4. We know we keep our 6/2 the same, change our operation to multiplication, and then change the last one to the reciprocal, which is 4/3. We multiply 6 times 4, which is 24, and 2 times 3, which is 6. Now this one's a little different because when you divide 24 by 6, you actually get 4, which is a whole number. But that's okay because that's our quotient. Wrapping up this lesson, let's look at some questions. When dividing fractions, is it possible to get a whole number as a quotient? It is possible to get a whole number quotient when dividing fractions. Remember back to our last problem, 24/6, and when we divided that, we got 4. Next question, when dividing fractions, is it possible to get an answer that is larger than the dividend? It is possible to get a quotient that is larger than the dividend when dividing fractions. And our last question, when you are asked to divide 2 fractions with different denominators, what is one possible way to solve? To divide fractions with different denominators, we can use equivalent fractions like denominators in order to solve.